This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm joined by the next sensation, the next lightweight sensation in Sam Noakes over Zoom. Sam, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you, my friend. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. I know you've obviously just come back from Cornwall. First and foremost, before we do come on to that, just start off with this past weekend. Obviously, successful third round stoppage victory. Reflect on your win for me.
Yeah, it went well. I mean, he's very tough, Lee Connelly. I thought, God, I was hitting him with some big shots, and just covers up well. And he's like, he was, as I said before, he said probably tougher than I thought he would be, if I'm honest. But yeah, got the job done. I was happy with it. Put some good shots together, and we go again next weekend.
You always look comfortable, and you always looked like you was in control in there, Sam. Going in there with somebody like Lee, who is tough, who is durable. How key can that be at this stage of your development, just to kind of, when you're in the ring, to work out, if ever you come up against somebody who's as tough as him in the future, how to approach it, just to break them down effectively?
I think they're good fights, as in you learn like your ring craft a little bit. But I mean, the difference with, say, if you come up against a tough prospect, yeah, they're going to open up a bit more, aren't they? I mean, like with these tough gentlemen, they're very good at surviving and covering up, which obviously can make it harder for me because you can't find the opening as much, if you know what I'm saying. So, but it's good as in you're learning, because you learn to cut the ring off and like get the correct angles and that. So good. It was a good learning fight for me.
Obviously, we're just coming on to that Cornwall trip. How did you find things further down south?
Oh yeah, it's lovely. I mean, the weather was weird though. Like 1 minute, like literally, it's be blue skies, sunny, and then all of a sudden it's cloudy. It just changes like that. It's mad. Couldn't get my head around it,
mate.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's like it was worse down there. Like I think where you're right on the sea and that, it was just, well, I couldn't get my head around it.
Now, obviously, Sam, you're back in action immediately. Come next weekend on that Joyce-Takam card. Where was this always the plan? Was it always to fight this past weekend and then go into the Joyce-Takam card?
No, I think I was just I was lucky enough to get the offer, and I'm fit. I'm fit all year round, really. So I jumped at the chance to fight again. To be honest with you, I mean, like with the layoff of COVID and things like that, you don't know. And if the back end of this year doesn't go to plan and we end up back in one, I mean, you got to take fights when they come up. So I'm ready to go again.
I know you'll be happy to get back into the ring so soon, but is it a little disappointing that you couldn't have a bit more time off just to enjoy some downtime?
I think where it is so fast, I haven't had time to switch off really. So like once, like you think I've only got another 7 days and then it's done, and then I can have a good rest. I think I'd have earned it anyway. I think I deserve a good rest after that.
I mean, they have just announced the August 28th card in Birmingham, so you sure you won't be asked to jump on that either?
No, I don't think I'll be that lucky.
Sam, talk to me about your opponent next weekend. Do you know kind of what he's about, what you'll be facing?
I think he's similar stamp to your Lee Connelly. Maybe, yeah. I think probably the sort of similar thing. I think with the it's still another 6 rounder, so I'm looking to progress onto an 8 rounder at like towards the end of the year. So yeah, just another learning fight. Get in, do the job. Do you know what I mean? We'll take what positives I can out of it, and then yeah, just keep moving. Roll with the punches, if you like.
I don't think you've been rolling many yourself, or had to deal with many yourself. 6-0, 6 KOs, Sam. Obviously, on the back of the last weekend as well. Not just very impressive, but he caught a few people's attentions. A lot of people kind of tuning in now, and I'm sure on the back of that, will also want to watch you come July 24th. When do you think the time will come there when you start to step up the level of opponents that you're facing? Maybe face people who will be a bit more of a challenge, look to win.
Yeah, a bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
I think as I said, we're looking to step up after this to be an 8 rounder. So I imagine they're going to get harder with then. And I think I'm scheduled to do another 2 8s. And then obviously after that, who knows? Hopefully pushing for titles, but that's sort of out of my control, really. I'm just a good boy and I do as I'm told. I've just beat who's in front of me, do you know what I mean? But we'll see. I mean, there's going to be plenty of time for hard fights. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. And they're going to get harder, like, do you know what I mean, soon anyway. So keep the ball rolling. I think that's key. Just keep ball rolling, keep in the gym, and then the success will come.
Sam, I spoke to Archie earlier in the week, and Archie said he doesn't feel like there's anybody at lightweight who could deal with you domestically because of the power you possess. Even though you're not fighting the top domestic names yet, do you feel, or do you back what Archie's saying there, that you would comfortably hold your own against somebody?
Yeah, I think I'd comfortably hold my own. Like, don't get me wrong, like I will give them the respect they're due. Like some of the older boys, like your Commonwealth, your British champion, like they've had the experience of doing the rounds, and I won't take any credit from them. But I think, as I stand at the minute, I think skill-wise and strength, I'd be able to manage. I mean, I just need to get the experience of doing the rounds, because you can't. What's the word? You can't like allow for that. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you don't know until you do them. Like it's like, even say you're doing 10, 12 rounds sparring in the gym or whatever, it's going to be completely different come fight night. So I think you have got to keep your feet on the floor a little bit with saying, oh, like, I'll be ready to beat them now. Like I'm confident in myself, but I don't want to run before I can walk. Do you know what I mean?
Sam, when you do look at that domestic scene, though, is there anybody who catches your eye who you think maybe in 3, 4, 5 fights you'd like to share the ring with them?
Well, any one of them with a title, to be honest with you. Like that's what I'm aiming for, really. I'd like to, whether it be the English first or the British or whatever. But that's what I'm sort of looking at, really. Like no other name. Like I don't really look down there and think, oh, I want to fight him, I want to fight this one, that one. Do you know what I mean? It's just you want to get them titles, don't you? Do you know what I'm saying? That's what you want.
A couple of names I do want to throw at you. Firstly, is Rylan Charlton. I did an interview with Rylan the other day. I mentioned you to him. He said that he'd be happy to face you if something could be made. But if it isn't now, certainly at some point, would you be happy to share the ring with Rylan?
Yeah, we've sparred Ryan. I mean, he's another tough one. I know he's as tough as they come as well. But you know what I mean? Like as I said, he'd be a good opponent. It'd be a good fight. He's very tough. He's a lovely fella as well. But yeah, as I said, like I'm not I don't really look at anyone and be like, oh, I'd like to fight them. I sort of I leave that to Al. Al tells me who to fight. I'll get in there, I fight them, and then hopefully knock them out, and then that's me.
Do you feel the pressure, Sam, when you get in there, because you're 6-0 with 6 KOs now, to get the stoppage victories?
I'd be lying if I said I didn't. You know, like it's always in the back of my head, and you know, like I'm gonna keep saying, I'm like, yeah, I want to get to this 10-0, 10 KOs, yeah. That's just making it even more like in the back of my head. Like, not saying that I'll go looking for them as such, because I'm a high-paced fighter anyway, and I'm always aggressive no matter what. But I do want to get to that 10. do you know what I mean? I do want to get to that 10.
Sam, obviously just want to move forward back to another name as well. The current British champion is Maxi Hughes. He's going to face Giovanni Straffon next. Giovanni Straffon stopped James Tennyson in a round a few months back. Just want to get your thoughts on that.
I didn't actually watch that fight, but I mean, Tennyson is a tough customer, isn't he? So obviously that fella can seriously bang. So obviously back in the Brit, I hope Maxi Hughes does it. Do you know what I mean? But I think he's got a hard night's work ahead of him. But I watched him box his last fight against something
Highland.
Junior.
Paul Highland Jr.
Yeah, and yeah, he looked good. I mean, he works to the body well, because he's small, isn't he? He's not overly big for that weight, but works to the body well, and he got a good stoppage victory against another. I think everyone's tough in this game, isn't they? I'm going to keep saying it. I think everyone is.
Sounds like you're looking for an easy opponent now, Sam.
Just trying to give him some credit, you know. That's what it is. It's been a nice guy, mate.
Sam, a couple of people you can give credit to are your campmates. They were both successful past weekend, like we said, Dennis McCann and Archie Sharp. Just a word on their wins.
Yeah, Dennis looked solid. He looked dominant, and I like it when Dennis boxes a bit more aggressively. Anyway, I like watching it like that. And Archie was up against another tough cookie, mate. And but yeah, he boxed well. I think he showed some really good moments of like some skillfulness. And yeah, I think he boxed well. Both good wins, 3 out of 3, because we both boxed. All 3 of us boxed at the Albert Hall on my debut. It was all 3 of us there. Obviously, Archie won in our camp then. But then yeah, so 6 out of 6 for us all in there, really.
With Archie, he's mentioned that he wants a Jamal Herring, a Shakur Stevenson next. With somebody who trains with him day in, day out, sees him in the gym, do you think he'd be ready for one of those names?
Listen, Archie is as skillful as he comes. Yeah, like, I don't like sparring him. Yeah, because he's just so, his movement, he's so skillful as well. He's just hard to get hold of. I think on his day he'll cause anyone problems, and I think his power might be underrated as well. Like, he's got a very good check hook, so I think Archie's got the chance to go all the way. Do you know what I'm saying? So don't get me wrong, they're very tough opponents, but I mean, if you want to be world champion, you've got to be willing to go that extra mile, haven't you? And I think he has.
Yeah, Sam, it only gets tougher from here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'll bet.
All right, Sam, listen, I appreciate your time now. I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. I know you've got training coming up as well. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
No problem. My pleasure.